So far it's working. All right, let's jump right in. And on the body here, I want to go a little bit darker. It's a little too light, so we're going to just go over a few more shades. Fade it out as you move towards the beard. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this part because we have it mostly done. And then we'll do the beard and the mustache and the trim. We'll move to that other guy. Okay, so most of you should have that body done by now, because like I said, it was mostly done anyway. All we're doing is just darkening it just a little more than what it was. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going on the beard here. The beard, we're just going to go to the inside, but we're not going to go all the way to the edge. And we're going to go super light. We're going to leave a little bit of white right on the edge. Just kind of follow the contour of the line of the beard. This is just to start with. I'm going to go all the way around it, leaving that little teeny edge. And we'll start fading it into the beard so it doesn't just look like a line all around his beard. Hopefully when you did this, you were really, really, really light, so that when we go to blend this in, it's easy to do. Before I go ahead and blend that in, I think we'll put a little shadow under this mustache too. That kind of brings the mustache forward. I'll give you a second to get caught up to this point, and then we'll start finishing off that beard. Those wrapped up by Wednesday, or Thursday would be for you, I guess. A week from today. A glue stick? Oh, I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about. Go in this closet, look to your right, there's some shelves right there, and there's a whole bin full of them. Okay, go down towards the bottom of your beard, and we're going to widen this out just a little bit at the bottom. Keep it really light. And I'm going to just kind of taper it as it goes up the beard. Just try and get rid of that line look. Just kind of fading it right in towards the center. You don't want to overdo this or he's going to end up having a big old gray beard. And that's just the base, okay? So bring that in tight so you can see what we're doing. It's just to widen it out a little bit here, and then after you've done that, you'll come in using the side of your pencil and just put a few little lines to kind of give it a texture like it's a beard. Just kind of follow the contour going up. You want these lines to be a little bit wider, not sharp pencil point lines. That's why I'm using the side of my pencil. We only need a few, we don't need to put 1,000 of them on here, okay? That gives it more of a hair texture. Okay, so go ahead and get that on your beard. And then we'll do the mustache and the trim and be about done. Also, I forgot, right here underneath his bottom lip, just put a little shadow right there that his lip's casting onto the beard. Again, keep it light, because this is a white beard, so you're not going to have any really dark shadows on the beard itself. We're going to move relatively quickly today because we've kind of done everything on this one, so that when we get to this one, it's going to be a lot of similar stuff. So I'm not going to go as slow on it because it's kind of repeating what we've done, so we can get you to the actual assignment coming up. Raise your hand if you need more time to finish that beard. Don't hesitate, so I know, okay? I don't see any hands, so we'll go on to the mustache. Do the mustache kind of the same way. Lightly shade the bottom part of it. A little darker on the end. A little whiter. Come over here, do the same thing. Again, like I say, the emphasis and the objective of this whole thing is to get you to shade a little smoother and to work on those freehanding skills a little bit. Keep your lines really close together so it looks smooth. Underneath his nose, we're going to cast a little shadow just like the mustache cast onto the beard or the lip cast onto the beard. It's just a little one that comes underneath the nose. Pause that for a second, and then we'll just put some hair texture on that mustache, and it will be done. Okay, just like we did with the beard, we put a few little lines. Just put a few little lines on that mustache. Don't go too crazy with it because there's not a lot of room to work. So it's just a few lines. Turn it this way. You can see that just a few light lines to give it more of a hair texture, and then that is done as far as the hair goes on that guy. We'll have him completely finished here pretty quick. There's not a lot left. Got the trim in the nose. That's about it. But if I get going too quick, make sure you let me know. Does anybody need more time to get it to this point of completion? Okay, let's go ahead and do the nose. Don't go all the way to the edge, just on the bottom. Leave a little light right on the bottom of the nose, super lightly. Notice that my pencil is following the shape of the nose. I'm not going straight across, I'm going at a curve. I'm just going to do that on the bottom part of the nose. I'm going to get that little light that I left on there very small, just enough to separate it from the mustache. Keep that curved as you do it. So when I turn it this way now, he has the little shadow on the nose itself, but it's on the bottom. And as you're learning to do this and put the lights in, you got to think about, okay, if the light's coming from above, the light highlights are going to be on the top, and the shadows are going to be on the bottom. So it'll be along the bottom of the trim, bottom of the trim, bottom of the mustache, bottom of the mustache, bottom of the nose, bottom of the beard, bottom of the arms. So it's consistent throughout the drawing. Okay, on this trim right here, we're just going to go really lightly all across the bottom, kind of following the shape right across the mustache and nose. And when I get the sides, I'm going to bring it up the side a little bit. I'm going to keep this really, really, really light. Because it is white trim, so you don't want to get it too darn dark. A little darker where it meets the nose and mustache, just to kind of separate them. So just super light touch on that, guys. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. We're going to do a little cuff right here. We're going to just go up one side of it. In this case, I'm going to go up the right side of the cuff, around the bottom, really lightly, and then come up this side, hook it around on the top. I got it a little too filled in, so I'm going to put my eraser in there. So I want that little space of light, and that's a tiny, tiny space of light right there. That reflected light is super important in all your shading, to separate one subject or object from another. Come over here to the other one. I'm going to do the same thing. And these don't take very long because they're teeny tiny. So when I'm finished, those two little things that look kind of like hot dog buns are now shaded in. All right, let's go to the bottom trim. I'm going to turn it sideways because that's the way my hand wants to go naturally. Start at the bottom, all the way across. Narrow up that little reflected light so it's smaller. And make sure you make the curve on the end, curve with the shape of the trim. And then just fade it out lightly as it moves up. Make sure you leave lots and lots and lots of white above it. That little dude is basically done. I'm just going to take my pencil, the side of my pencil, and just kind of go below the feet here. Make kind of a little shadow that goes all the way across to the other guy too. And just do that to ground them, keep them on kind of the same plane. Just using the side of my pencil. Don't have to be too fancy with that. That's just to make it look like they're not floating in the air anymore. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this other guy is I'm not going to record it because it's the exact same thing we did on this one. I'm just going to move through and shade it in. I'm not going to pause on that one. You're welcome to look up as I'm going. I want you to just kind of work your way through it. Do it at your own pace. You can glance up at the screen as I'm going if you need to, but I'm not going to pause and pause and pause. I'm going to get him all done, and then I will come around and check how you guys are doing on yours. So I'm going to stop this right here so that we can just move on real quick, and it keeps the video short.